Am I the asshole for not giving my stepson half of my daughter's college fund? My stepson, 18 males, father was not involved in his life, but said he had a college fund. He ended up changing his mind and kept the college fund for his new child. I don't have a college fund for him because I always assumed his father was paying like he said he was. When my stepson found out what happened, he and my wife want me to split from the money in my daughter's 17 female account. I refused because the money in there was a gift from my late wife's parents. When I refused, they asked me to sell my daughter's rings. The thing is, the ring was given from her mother for when she was supposed to get married, but she didn't live until then. I know it will crush my daughter's soul to sell it. My stepson and wife are saying it's favoritism, and I do feel a little bad. Am I the asshole?
I honestly don't think so.
No.
Especially with the circumstance regarding where the money came from.
Right.
And
Yeah.
it's just, and
It's not his money to give.
right. And it's just such a weird place to be because you have your wife and your stepchild now. And it just feels so weird. Like, can you imagine having that come out of nowhere and they ask? And I don't know. It just doesn't feel right.
He is not the asshole.
No, it doesn't. It definitely doesn't feel right. It feels very manipulative. Like, oh, you're playing favoritism because he's your stepson. Like, at the end of the day, I'm sure he, depending on how long the kid has been in his life, I'm sure he's been, a great, surrogate dad to this kid. But at the end of the day, this money isn't his to give away.
Correct. It came from his wife in a different source. It was a different source of funds.
Yeah.
The fact that if he wants to go out and sell his car or do something different on
He
his
can
own,
sell his own shit all day.
He can do that all day long.
Yeah.
It's up to him, but he's not allowed to take it from his daughter. That's hers. It was earmarked for it. He could certainly I would certainly try to file a suit against the kid's father.
Yeah, especially
because
if
he made a commitment and a codicil to his son.
Yeah.
And because he decided to change that he can't do.
That's where the problem lies in this whole thing. That's where the issue is.
That real dad
That's
is the
where the
asshole.
asshole is, yeah.
And that is where, remedy needs to come from. Because they were actually counting on that. They planned for it. It was committed to them. And he is now reneging on a commitment or a deal or a codicil.
Yep.
So I don't know if it, what the laws really are for something like this, but that's where I would seek retribution to solve the problem.
Yeah, especially if the dad was doing that as a stipulation instead of child support.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I'll put $500 a month in a college fund instead of child support, because then you really have a case
Then it
to
becomes
sue
legal
him.
real quick.
And the kid could actually sue the father.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's so messed up. But I think it's really, really fucked up the fact that, like, okay, if he was safekeeping the ring just because the mom wasn't involved, that's one thing. But the mom died. She is no longer there. So that is the only, like, thing on her wedding day that she's going to have of her mom. Like, that's sentimental value.
Yeah, you can't mess with that stuff.
No.
That's not even in the question. Like, it's bad enough to just ask to split the money, but then to sell, no.
Yeah.
No.
There's student loans. I think if the stepmom wasn't preparing anything for her son, at the end of the day, like, that's kind of on her as a parent. Like, if he's already, if his biological dad is already an absentee father and doing a shit job, why are you entrusting your kid's college career in him?
True.
It's a lot of faith you're putting in a deadbeat dad.
True.
So I think, take out some student loans or help your son finance college. I think there's other ways to go about it, and go to community college first and get your generals done and then transfer, or just do everything.
Look, every child is different because, again, we go back to circumstance. Circumstances change. But if anything that have anyone that is the asshole, it is certainly the biological father, and the kid's got some claim against that father because he made promises.
A little bit the stepmom though too.
Yeah.
I think the stepmom's being a little toxic and
Yep.
could qualify for the asshole.
Well, yeah.
I just wouldn't even feel, I wouldn't even think to, but just to be comfortable enough to even make that ask.
That's
or even to
so-
think that
It's so out of line.
you are owed that, or that's what's right.
It's favoritism by you not
Yeah.
splitting her money that was given not by you even as her dad, but by her grandparents.
Yeah.
It's not your money to touch. So the top comment, not the asshole. You can't give away something that was given to your daughter by your late wife's parents. It's her money. Nor should you be selling the rings. Again, not yours. Just because your current wife's ex-husband is an asshole, that doesn't mean your daughter should suffer. Yeah.
Yep.
I think that's very, very, very well said. So this next comment, the idea that your wife and son feel entitled to something that belongs to your daughter is horrendous. It's not like you put the money in there. It is wrong to take from her because his father is a shitbag.
Sounds a little bit to me like Cinderella.
That's exactly what I was thinking. That's exactly it.
Yeah. They go on to say, co-sign for a loan if you're interested in helping your stepson. Hide the rings somewhere wifey and son can't get them. And
Yep.
remember, you're not the asshole. Don't let them guilt you into being a bad father.
Yeah, it's just that's just so many red flags going on.
I think wifey needs to be stomped on a little bit on this one.
Yeah, absolutely. She's crossing a line and being such a toxic bitch.
That is not a nice. It's
Very
not-
manipulative.
Yeah,
Very.
not nice.
But let's say he did put the money in there. Where do you stand then?
If who put the money in with it?
If he had put the money in for and built that college fund up.
I still say that if,
Yeah.
if he put the money in for his daughter, and that was the intent because this guy made a commitment, that was the deal.
I agree.
You know, even if it's not court of law, like worthy, if you can't press charges or sue the dad for keeping the money, I think at the end of the day, you know, there's a lot of people in this country that pay for college on their own. I did. I didn't really have a lot of help for college. If I told you guys what my student debt is, you'd probably puke. But it's 6 figures. Maybe make some guesses. Maybe I'll put a post on Instagram and we can make some guesses.
Yeah.
But it's 6 figures. It's above 150K. I'll give you that, which it's really fucking bad and sad. I want to cry just thinking about it. But there's people that make sacrifices to afford their education. I'm, unfortunately one of them. And so I think, there's other ways to go to school, and a lot of people do it on their own. And if the mom wants to help, then that's great. And if he wants to help, good for him.
Kind of reminds me how everyone dips their hands in for inheritance, and how just tumultuous it gets when things like that go down.
Oh my
Just-
God, money makes people do crazy, crazy things. This other comment I really appreciate, not the asshole. This, take the rings out of the house now. Too many posts where someone decided to sell behind the other's back. Your job is to protect your daughter. That money was left to her, as were the rings. Help him take out a loan, support him in other ways, reach out to his side of the family, but leave your daughter's stuff alone.
Yes. Get
Yeah.
a lockbox somewhere.
Yeah. Edit. Also, make sure your wife does not have access to your daughter's account. Again, people do shitty things. It should not matter to her unless she is trying to access it.
Yeah.
Completely agree.
Yeah. People get crazy.
Yeah, I could see if she's already being emotionally manipulative, she'll I could just see her selling the rings and just,
Yeah,
it was the
it's-
right thing.
It's just a slippery slope.
It is really, really bad.
Well, I would hope she wouldn't do that.
We all hope.
Yeah, you really have a lot of faith in people, whereas I've read one too many Reddit stories. And I know that people are not, I think obviously we all have good in us, but there's some people out there that just don't care who they hurt in the process of getting what they want.
Very true.